last but not least is my good friend and great, like Alex mentioned before, it's a former New York City Police Department retired Lieutenant Vito LaBella.
Grazie, thank you so much. Thank you. So, I have to confess, my name is Vito LaBella, but I'm kind of a fake Italian. Third generation. So my grandfather was Vito. I have 3 cousins named Vito. So when we argue on Facebook, we confuse a heck of a lot of people. Ah, there we go. Beautiful name.
And a lot of Vitos in it.
A lot of Vitos in it. But the reason I say I'm a fake Italian is because I don't speak the language. And this was after 3 years of Italian at Severian High School. Where's my Severian friend? Oh, there we go. Read it. This is my wife, lovely Kim Jalego, we went to the south of France, and she speaks fluent French, and we were at this bed and breakfast where the owner was Italian, married to a French woman. And he was so excited that Vito LaBella was coming to stay. And he was going to talk Italian to Vito LaBella. So we get there, and he starts talking to me in Italian, and I go like this. And my wife starts speaking in French, but I hear her say the word stupido. So that I understood. So I've always had a complicated relationship with my name, right? I mean, growing up in Bay Ridge, I was the only Vito in elementary school, and I was one. And there's still discrimination against Italians, and biases and stereotypes. And we don't see it so much in New York, but it's out there. And if you're from Brooklyn, you go to Manhattan, sometimes you see it, right? Hey, Vito, bridge and tunnel, right? Yeah, okay. And I met my wife in Hawaii in 1989. A beautiful wife in Hawaii, and she was from Albany, and I was from Brooklyn, and I was going on the thruway to go see her. I may have been speeding, I wanted to get to see her, and I was pulled over by a state trooper. And the state trooper sees my license and he says, Vito. What kind of name is Vito? And I'm like, okay, I thought I was driving north, how do I get to Alabama? So, yes, I was a police sergeant, I was also an actor, so I did my best impression. And I said, well, sir, exactly, my name is Vito LaBella. Funny thing, that name is my grandfather's name. I'm just going up to Albany to see my wife, and I'm really sorry to cause you any trouble. Okay, he let me go, but I didn't know if I did the Brooklyn thing, I would maybe be in jail. And it wasn't the first time that happened with my name. So, yes, in addition to being a lieutenant, I was an actor and trying to get traction, and I go out for a thank you. This is the most applause and the best audience I've had in a long time. So I go up for a frozen pizza commercial, right? And they said, the casting director says, yeah. Think like an old school Italian pizzeria in the summer. Oh, okay. I'm thinking Danny Aiello, do the right thing, that kind of look, right? So I go to the casting office and I take off my shirt, I have a tight top on. And the casting director looks at my picture, looks at me and goes, look at Vito LaBella rocking the guinea tea. It's like, how is that okay? But you laugh it off because you get used to it, right? But it's not funny. And when you're an actor, you're trying to get traction, you think, oh God, what can I change? Why am I not getting more work? And so, maybe I should gain 5 pounds, or lose 10 pounds, or get lifts, or be taller, or be shorter. And so, someone said, you gotta change your name. I did. I changed it to Victor Bell. Don't hate me, Nicolas Cage was originally Nicholas Coppola. I don't know if you knew that. It worked out better for him than it did for me. Broadway show in Brooklyn, Lysistrata, and my 2 boys were there. My wife was pregnant with my girl, Morgan. And my boy said, "Daddy, where are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm Victor Bell." And they didn't like the fact that I had a different name. So I changed it back right after that, before my daughter was born. I was Vito LaBella, and I still got as much work as Vito LaBella or Victor Bell. But there's a point to the story. In 2017, I retired to work, I retired from the New York City Police Department to take a more active role in my kids' education. And I was the PTA president of Crystal McCall Middle School over in Diker Heights, Borough Park, kind of like on the border there, Bensonhurst. And it's a very large Chinese community. And without going into the details, I got involved with different things with the Chinese community, fighting for different things that were happening. And I was at an event, and one of my Chinese friends says, "Vito, did you meet the other Vito?" And I said, "No, I haven't. Where is he?" He goes, "Over there." So I walk over, and it's this Chinese guy. "Oh, hey, Vito, how you doing? Let me guess, your grandfather's name is Vito." And he looked at me and said, No. I said, "Well, how did you get the name Vito?" Like the hamster in my brain was like having a stroke. I couldn't comprehend this. So he says to me, he says, "Well, I was in my home country, and I was coming to America, and I wanted an American name." And he looked through all the names, and he said, "Vito, what a great American name." Right? And this is a true story, I swear to God. And I was like so happy, right? Because this is what it means to be American. This is what it means. We, as Italians now, are looked at by this one individual, at least, as being American, right? And some of my friends in the Chinese community, I empathize with them because I noticed that their struggle for the first generation and the people who are just coming over, I sense that they're going through some of the stuff that my grandfather are going through, some of my things that my father went through. And I say to them, I say, "Listen, in 100 years, 75 years, there'll be someone halfway across the world, and they'll be looking for a name to come to this country, and they'll say, Donghui, Yiatin. What great American names." And that is also the beauty of this country. And I want to thank Arnaldo for having this organization that, as we all get older, we have to pass the beauty of the Italian culture down to our children, but not just to our children. We have to share it with all of the other groups in this city. And also, we have to learn about their groups. And by elevating each other and by sharing, maybe, just maybe, all of the divisiveness and the hostility will be just a little bit less. Maybe, I don't know. And I've done that in my school as the PTO president, and I want to do that. Whatever life has in store for me for the next chapter, I'm going to try to do that. And I've learned about so many different cultures in the last 6 months, 9 months. And I want to learn about them all, share my Italian culture, and elevate everyone's culture. Because it's Italian History Month, and it's also Hispanic History Month. And acknowledging one doesn't dismiss the other, because we're going to love everybody. We're going to do both. And I want to thank Arnaldo and his lovely wife, and Phyllis, and we're pretty sure he's not here for this great, great honor. I don't think I deserve it, but I'm going to do my best to earn it. Guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator.